the things that can change your microbiome and hence cause what they call dysbiosis. The mode of delivery, the maternal microbiome, and the use and overuse of antibiotics. And so if there was one big lesson I would like to emphasize to all of you who especially are fearful of infections and easily run to your doctors and ask of antibiotics is please think again, because every tablet or every antibiotic that you use, and most often we give broad spectrum antibiotic. I have done that. I'm culprit, and I sometimes just hope that those kids that have been given antibiotics in good faith are doing well. But one of the things that I am very, very strong on is that I only give antibiotics if it's absolutely needed. What are the measures that I would give? And this is to you colleagues out there, doctors who may be listening, mothers who are concerned about their children having fever and coughs and all this. I understand you. I'm a mother of 5 as well. However, most of the causes of our respiratory illnesses is virus. About 90% are viruses. They will go by our own immune system. So instead of running for antibiotics and pressuring the doctors to give them, you might as well just, hang in there, nourish the child, hydrate the child, give vitamin C, lemon and honey, Vicks like my grandma used to give, and nourish natural immunity rather than opting for an antibiotic that can actually have its short and long-term effects for your child or for you or whoever takes the antibiotic. To me, this is the analogy. Every antibiotic, remember this, is like a bomb that kills all the soldiers of your body. And I've seen through my practice of functional medicine with people who are having difficulties with down the track chronic autoimmunity, skin problems, depression. When I went through their timeline that I've seen in their early years, a big factor is their repetitive, recurrent use of antibiotics when they were young. And these are adults now. So please respect your microbiome. And here are the measures that I would tell you. If it's bordering on maybe this is viral or bacterial, what I do is I send the patient for a full blood count. If you have to use antibiotics, try and use a less spectrum. If you know the bacteria, then you hone into a less broad spectrum. If I have to give antibiotics, I recommend things that will support the microbiome. How? By giving them probiotics, which they take 2.5 to 3 hours away from the use of antibiotics, and continue that over, not just after the antibiotic, but till that bottle is finished. I actually recommend and encourage people, especially if they are sickly and there is reasons to do that, to continue as a supplement, get probiotics, either through capsules or through food. Also, chemicals. Chemicals can kill our microbiome. So things that we get from our food, things that we inhale, things that are in our drinking water, in our personal care products, they can get absorbed into our skin and they can affect our microbiome. Avoiding pesticides and herbicides, naturally grown products, so that we don't kill our microbiome. Our diet. What is it? It's mostly laden with sugary stuff. It is processed, highly processed. So there are so many additives in there. There is unhealthy oils and fats over there. So much of inflammatory components in there. Our diet, Western diet, is lacking in fiber. They don't have much of this lusciousness and fiber and the freshness of vegetables and fruits, and the fiber that is so important for teaming up on nourishing our microbiome. Our staple foods, our breads, are usually made of gluten, and gluten is a highly inflammatory food. You have celiac or not. In fact, they say if all of us would go off gluten, which is, I know it's not very easy, but especially if you have gut issues, it's so important, and you have illnesses, fatigue, skin lesions, allergies, food sensitivities that are not going, try eliminating gluten in your diet. Last but not the least is stress. Earlier on, I already mentioned that when people are stressed, it changes our microbiome. It favors the growth of the bad bacteria, causing dysbiosis. We need to be happy. We need to learn how to relax, to get our stresses under control by either mindfulness, taking the time to go in nature, really honing in me time, and catching ourselves when we are stressed about anything. How can we protect our microbiome? One is to eat foods that are rich in probiotics. What are probiotics? These are actually undigested fibers, which are mostly from plants that these microorganisms feed on. Very, very important to eat plants that have a lot of fiber. What are they? We have our garlic, our onions, chicory, Jerusalem artichokes, Mexican yam, jicama, to name a few. Also, probiotic-rich foods. What are they? These are actually the fermented foods. We have sauerkraut. This is steaming with lactobacillus and bifidus. These are the two main bacteria that we need. Kimchi, kombucha tea, miso, tempeh, pickles. Also, it makes sense, go organic. So no pesticides, no herbicides. Grow your own plants as much as you can. If not, make sure that those vegetables you get are properly washed. Making sure that mothers who are pregnant take care of themselves. You eat well, be happy, enjoy your pregnancy. No one is free from stresses, but if you can address the sources of your stress, especially because they mean inflammation in our body that goes to your child, which goes to the next generation and all that. Also, enjoying our meals. Why? This brings me to the importance of being relaxed or present to your food when you're eating. So this means not going to the TV and just munching, eating things while you're watching TV. One of the things that is suggested is don't eat when you're anxious, when you're sad and you're angry, because your foods will not be digested and it's counterproductive. Last but not the least is to fast. And why? What does this do? During fasting, you're actually kind of cleansing your body. That fasting regulates, enhances the presence of good bacteria and hence a better microbiome. How do we address leaky gut? We seek to educate and empower you to live healthy, vibrant lives.